It's Wednesday, March 27th at 1:15 in the afternoon, and Luna and I have come down to the Cataraqui Trail at Harrowsmith. We're going to follow this over to the K&P Trail and then head down the K&P Trail. It's mostly cloudy, very windy from the southwest, and 13 degrees. Apparently there's 60% chance of showers this afternoon, but I don't see anything on the radar, so we're going to go for it here. Well, the spring bird migration is well underway. I got the first phoebe returning to the farm this morning, and there's been things like turkey vultures coming back, red-winged blackbirds, grackles, cowbirds obviously are fairly early arrivals. I've also had my first wood ducks on the farm this morning, so it's really nice to see all the spring and summer birds starting to come back. This will go on for a couple months yet before they all get back, but it's always my favorite time of the year, seeing all the life return to the land. I haven't been down this way for a while, and I'm saddened to see that some of the farmers, or a farmer, I'm not sure which, but some of the farmers are taking out their hedgerows, which are the narrow shrub and tree lined areas that usually separate the different fields. There's been quite a few fields here where they've taken out all those hedgerows, and that could include large trees up to the size of full-grown mature trees, or shrubs and anything in between. Often too, they hold a lot of rocks that they originally took off the fields. So I'm not sure what they're planning here, whether they're planning to develop the land or whether they're just trying to open up these hedgerows to provide less shade over their fields. Hard to say, but hedgerows are a very valuable wildlife habitat. Wildlife will use these for migrating through, or living within, nesting within, traveling within to get from one area to another. So anytime you lose a hedgerow, it's a good loss of wildlife habitat. The eastern meadowlarks are back as well. I can hear them singing in the fields here alongside the trail. Okay, 1:35, and we've just come up to the K&P Trail here. Do a little bit of a jog, and then we head south. It's so nice when it gets above 10 degrees centigrade. You no longer have that feeling of your hands being cold for the most part. I could have actually worn a lighter coat today too, but it's just so windy. I thought I better wear this one because it blocks the wind quite well. My little smaller felt one doesn't really block the wind very well, so I'd rather be a little warm than a bit chilled. Well, the trail's in pretty good shape. It's a bit damp. Otherwise, you can ride a bike on it, no problem, at least through this section. And here we are, 2 o'clock, and then we're at Millhaven Creek. They're looking for me again, folks. When you're a wanted man, it's hard to keep hiding. So this is the cedar section that I thought might still have a bit of ice or snow in it, but it's all clear, just a bit damp. You could ride over this quite easily. Well, after an hour and 5 minutes, I've passed all of 3 people. 2 people just went by me now, and a lady with her dog passed me earlier around the K&P junction. So not overly busy today. I guess the threat of rain probably has turned some people off from going out on the trail, but and here we have an Isabella tiger moth larva out for a stroll. I've seen a few of these already this year. They're one of the earliest caterpillars to show up, also known as the woolly bear. Well, that's the first cyclist I've seen today. Again, I guess it's just the threat of the potential showers probably turning people off. So it's 2:15 and we're almost at the end of the actual hike here between the two roads. I don't think I'm going to go right up to the very end. It's just another few hundred meters anyhow, and it's not all that exciting right up there. So I think I'll stop here at this bench, take a few bird notes to document what I've been seeing and hearing, and then head back. It's been a very pleasant walk. And the rain has held off. So I've seen a few other birds of interest, some new birds. Rusty Blackbird, first of the year. I've had 2 of those. Just had a winter wren in the marsh here. Bit of a strange place for it, but I guess he's migrating through and just using whatever habitat he can get into. And I had a red-bellied woodpecker back at the end of the trail where I stopped. It was going to a feeder on a local farmhouse. So nice to see all these birds coming back. Nice, I've got a couple trumpeter swans out in the marsh here. They've been showing up here for the last few years, and I think they nest out here now. They're really expanding through southern Ontario over the last few decades after they've been reintroduced to the area, so they're doing well, which is nice to see. That sky is getting kind of leaden looking off to the west. Hopefully we won't have any rain on us. Just got my first green-winged teal of the year back there in the marsh as well. A beautiful male just flew in and sat in behind the trumpeter swans. So I've picked up a few new birds for the year so far today. Green-winged teal, Rusty Blackbird, winter wren, Phoebe. I guess I had first one technically yesterday, but today was the first time I saw one. Yesterday I was out walking the Cat Trail east of Sydenham and I managed to see my first ribbon snake of the year, so that was exciting, and I got some decent pictures of it. I didn't actually make a video yesterday, so I won't be showing those probably on this channel, but just thought I'd mention it. I also got gray comma, which is one of the angle-wing butterflies that we have in the local area. I don't see that one too often. I see the eastern comma more frequently, but I think it's fairly common. But well, we're just coming back to Millhaven Creek here, the bridge, and it's 3:37. So we should be back to the car about 4:15 or 4:20, I think. Usually takes about 45 minutes to get back from here, so not too much further. It's been a very nice walk. Lots of good sightings and just a real pleasant day for walking, and hardly anyone on the trail. Couple hooded mergansers swimming down there. There's my first northern water snake of the year. It's not even that warm out. I guess it's about 12 or 13 degrees, but no sun. Just came out on the trail. Luna, don't. Of course I can't talk to her because she's deaf. She's more curious about them than anything. She's not an aggressive dog towards them. Beautiful snake here. Quite a pale colored one, not a lot of design. Probably a 2.5 footer. Well, that's always exciting to start seeing the snakes again. They had a whole lot of interest in the natural world as far as I'm concerned. I wish we had a lot more types of snakes around here than we do, but so what snakes do we have around this area of southeastern Ontario? Well, I guess the most common snake would be the eastern garter snake. Then the northern water snake that we just saw is also a very common snake that hangs out, as the name suggests, around water, marshes, swamps, lake edges. And then we also have the smaller snakes, such as the ribbon snake, which looks a lot like the garter snake. And we also have the red-bellied snake, northern brown snake or DK snake, ringneck snake, which is much more uncommon and hard to find. We have the rare gray rat snake around here, and oh yes, the eastern milk snake, of course, can't forget that beauty. And is that it? I might be forgetting one or two, but I think that's got most of them. Oh well, yeah, there are old records of hognose snake, but they're usually further off to the west. There are some old records up in the Tweed area, but I'm not sure how valid they were. I think they were sort of valid, but so as you can see, not a whole lot of species of snakes compared to tropical areas that might have over 100 species. And that's where things would get interesting, that's for sure. The bird tally just keeps going up. I just had a beautiful Cooper's hawk come soaring down the trail here, and then it diverted off into this woodland. Sat up there in a tree for a second until I got my binoculars on it, and then it took off over the hill. But beautiful, beautiful bird in flight, looking for its supper probably. So the Cooper's hawk is one of 3 accipitrine hawks, which are bird-eating hawks that we have in the area. There's that one, which is the medium-sized bird, which is about the size of a crow. And then we have the smaller sharp-shinned hawk, which is just sort of bigger than a blue jay type size. And then we have the larger goshawk, American goshawk as it's now called. It used to be called northern goshawk, but they changed the name for some reason. I guess just to separate it out from the European goshawk. So the Cooper's hawk took us up to 30 species for the hike. That's not too bad for this time of year, especially at an interior location like this. It's a little easier to get those numbers if you were birding down along the shore of Lake Ontario and the marshes down there, because you can get some additional waterfowl. Now I do have some waterfowl here today from the marsh down there, but otherwise you don't typically see all that many species at this time of year along this trail, but they're starting to come back. And I've been lucky today. I've had a few lucky sightings, I think. Well, we're going to be a bit longer getting out of here. Had to stop to look at that Cooper's hawk and the water snake and a few other things, so we're going a little slower than I had anticipated. But there's no rush. Okay, it's 4:10 and we're back on the cat trail here. and it'll take us 20 minutes to get back, so we'll be back at the Harrowsmith parking lot area at 4:30 and home at about 4:45, I guess. There's a little bit of blue sky on the horizon. I guess we're going to avoid any rain. I haven't felt one speck of it yet, and we're almost back. So we just picked up our 31st species of bird on the hike. Just had about 15 cedar waxwings back there in the shrubs. So the list keeps going up. I keep thinking I'm about as high as I'm going to go, and then I find another species. So that makes for an interesting walk when you can do that. Okay, 4:28, and we're just a few minutes away from the end of the hike. I managed to get another species, herring gull, so we're up to 32 now. This is going to be a good year, I think. We'll have to see. Anyhow, hope you enjoyed this walk down the K&P Trail and bird watching expedition. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. So 3¼ hours for about 13 kilometers or so.